With huge behind-the-scenes drama and very poor critic scores, is Don't Worry Darling still worth the watch? Hey guys, welcome back to the video. In this video, you guys, my spoiler-free review for Don't Worry Darling and letting you guys know if it's actually worth the watch. Now, like I said before, this movie has been through hell and back when it comes to the drama behind the scenes, but also the critic scores. This movie premiered at Venice Film Festival, and it was not looking good. There were also a bunch of other screenings all of last week, and many people just did not like the movie. But I'm gonna be honest, I actually really liked the movie. But before I get to all of my thoughts, if you enjoy all of my movie and TV show reviews, reactions, and breakdowns, make sure to subscribe button, notifications on so you don't miss any time of the video or I go live. But don't waste any more time, let's get into it. So again, this video won't be containing any spoilers, but at the end of the video, I will be talking about the ending of the movie and my thoughts on it, but I won't be going into any of the twists or turns throughout the movie. So starting off the review, we have to talk about the highlight of this movie. If you've seen any of the review, everyone is mentioning this, Florence Pugh's performance. She is absolutely phenomenal in this movie, on a completely different playing field from everyone else in this film. And the thing is, she carries every movie that she's in, and again, no different here. She gives a stellar performance. Her character is supposed to be one that is intriguing, trying to uncover this mystery, and she does a perfect job at conveying this character. And of course, talking about acting, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, Harry Styles. I actually thought his acting was pretty good. I don't know what a lot of people are talking about when they're saying Harry Styles is a really bad actor, because there's a few moments, yeah, where it's a little bit iffy of a performance, but overall, his acting was pretty good, especially for this being his first ever actual speaking role. He was in Dunkirk for a little bit, but his speaking role was very minimal. And in this movie, especially being across from Florence Pugh, one of the greatest actresses working right now, I think he did a pretty good job. And the rest of the supporting cast is also great. You got Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, Olivia Wilde herself, Asif Ali, and Nick Kroll, as along with many others. And I think everyone does a great job. I was surprised with the minimal amount of screen time all the other supporting characters had, but I didn't really mind it because I think it worked its way into the story very well. But now to some of my issues with the movie. The primary thing all leads back to pacing. Now, I do want to preface this by saying I'm pretty sure I'm like the only one on this planet that thinks the second half of this movie was better than the first half. More specifically, the second act itself just was not that interesting to me. I think it was just a worse version of the first act. The first act did a really great job of just overall bringing us into this world and getting us intrigued in the mystery itself. And the second act felt like Florence Pugh just discovering more stuff and more stuff just happening, but I wasn't really engaged. And it's that middle 30 to 45 minutes of this movie where I just felt so disconnected from everything. And another issue I do have with the first act of this movie is that it doesn't feel like Olivia Wilde's actually being herself. You feel like she's actually being her own director in the third act of this movie, where everything goes off the rails and you have the super big adrenaline rush. And that's my favorite part of the movie. No spoilers here, but I thought the third act is damn great. It does a great job of having this switch that turns when the twist happens. And honestly, actually even before the twist, my adrenaline was already pumping because there's so many things that happen and it just goes back to back to back to back, and it keeps on going. And once it starts, like for real, like once that one moment happens, everything just keeps on going. The movie does not stop, and I really like it. I love the path this twist went down. I can guarantee you no one can guess this twist. And I've heard a lot of people online saying that the twist was fairly basic when they look back on it, but personally, I don't believe so. Maybe in a few weeks when I look back at this movie, I will think it's basic, but for now, I actually think it's very, very unique. Maybe it's because I wasn't going into the movie expecting that type of twist at all, but I think it works here. I think the twist was actually really great, and I think the ending of the movie worked very well, but I think the ending of the movie did sacrifice a lot of character relationships, which does kind of suck. I feel like the backstory of the actual characters was compromised, especially for how long we're spending with these character relationships. Again, that 30 to 40 blank minutes in the middle of this movie felt like we could have actually done a lot more in terms of characterizing and honestly being invested in these relationships, and most notably with the side characters. A lot of these side characters are very interesting, and towards the end of the movie when revelations start happening and we see side characters' reactions to all these things, I want to know a lot more, but then we kind of get the movie to wrap up and it feels like we're rushing because we're really only focused on Florence Pugh's character, which I don't really mind. I really enjoyed her character, but I feel like there was so much more potential when it comes to all of the side characters. This also goes in line with themes of the movie. I think the themes of the movie are really good. Of course, it talks about misogyny and men's roles in the world, men and women, gender roles and stuff like that, and I think it's actually a great theme, but I feel like at a certain point, Olivia Wilde got so immersed into those themes that she started sacrificing other character development for it. I feel like we already got the point by the time the third act rolled around, but she was still hammering in these ideas over and over and over, and it felt like we were really sacrificing other character development just to get these themes across even more for some reason. I will say though, in regards to the ending, it was like weirdly satisfying because I cared for Florence Pugh's characters, so it was really engaging in that sense, but everything else felt very empty. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's what this movie boils down to. It just could have been a lot more. And I feel like a lot of people were just very disappointed by the movie because their expectations were so high. I'd be lying if I said I didn't temper my expectations after it premiered at Venice and a lot of my friends got to watch it at early screenings. But I came out of the movie again still wanting more. I still felt like they just grazed on certain things that could have been expanded upon much, much more. So at the end of the day, I do think Don't Worry Darling is worth the watch. Florence Pugh gives a stellar performance. Harry Styles is really good in the movie, and the rest of the cast is great. But again, when it comes to the story, it's very high concept, but doesn't necessarily deliver on it, leaving me pretty unsatisfied. So overall, I'm going to give Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling a 7.5 out of 10. Again, definitely worth the watch in my opinion. But if you've seen or want to check out Don't Worry Darling, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.